Upon completion of the Canadian Pacific's Transcontinental Railway in November of 1885, only 2 trains crossed the Selkirk mountain range through Roers Pass before the line was shut down and abandoned for the winter. The reason? There had not been time to build snow sheds through the pass, and without them, the pass could not be crossed in winter. The Canadian Pacific Railway took the winter to study the avalanche patterns in the pass, to determine where snow sheds were required. The Selkirk Range is the first barrier of considerable height encountered by the prevailing winds off the Pacific Ocean to the west. In summer, the extremely heavy precipitation turns the range into the equivalent of a rainforest. Indeed, it is considered to be the only inland rainforest in the world. In winter, it is entombed in snow and ice. In Roers Pass, the average yearly snowfall is 35 feet. In the winter of 1898-1899, it reached a total of 44 feet. Snowfall in the month of January alone was 9 feet 2 inches. The accumulation at the higher elevations would be much greater, mountain peaks in the pass being as much as 6,000 feet, or more than a mile, higher than the pass itself. Great slabs of rock, pushed up to almost vertical positions, formed the Selkirk Mountains. Through the pass, and to both the east and the west, these slopes are too steep for the heavy snow to repose on the mountains, particularly during the spring melt, when the snow can reach as much as 50 pounds per cubic feet. Very little is required to start a deadly avalanche that can sweep down the mountainsides at more than 100 miles per hour. In the spring of 1886, after the long winter closure, 150 carpenters and axemen began the construction of the snow sheds. In total, for 6 miles east of Roers Pass summit and 25 miles to the west, 54 snow sheds were built, totaling 6 miles in length. 31 of these sheds were within 6 miles to either side of the summit. The snow sheds were of different types. Where the slope next to the track was steep, the uphill side of the snow shed consisted of a retaining crib of cedar logs. This crib at one end supported the rafters, and at the other end the rafters were supported by a frame bent or cross frame. When the slope was flatter, the crib was only carried up halfway, and a framework of posts and rafters built on top. A third design of snow shed had no cribbing at all.